The absolute key one for me is knowing what you're trying to achieve. What I mean by that is data isn't a goal in its own right. In its own right, what we're trying to achieve are aligning data to show it enables business outcomes. So getting clear sponsorship and engagement from your senior management team to know what you're trying to achieve as a business, and then look how data then drives that. This then supports absolutely everything else, and it's a founding block. A number of things I've seen in the past are, if you start driving a governance program from anywhere other than the senior management group, you'll get programs that are in flight driving great insights, driving customer engagement, but you'll have a program manager within your team trying to block it. They won't see, unless you've actually got a really strong story, that the data part of this is part of their minimum viable product, I think. 2, everybody asks, where do I start? If I was a Goldman Sachs and I'm creating my own infrastructure and architectures and then growing on top of that, that puts me in a good stead. But for the majority of us, we started our organizations and data's become an afterthought. However, there's a very strong C.S. Lewis quote that I probably won't be able to do verbatim, but tells a good story. I can't go back to the beginning to start again. What I can do is look where I am, and I can then make decisions to define the ending. So if you look the quote up, that's what it's trying to say, but their ethics are good. So we're going back to the first point. Where we are today, we've got clear strategies. Most of us are doing transformational change to drive great customer experiences. We may have some compliance issues, we may be reducing cost, we might be reducing risk. Let's just focus on what our key programs are, which program you think is the most important and has got key sponsorship on, and we start there. What we're then doing is we'll have underlying a strategy that will look to develop capabilities and services in and around data that we start embedding in these programs. Unlike when we're competing in a marketplace and we talk about having first mover advantage, for these programs, there'll need to be an acceptance. It's a first mover disadvantage. There will be an overhead that needs to be shared with the business, but with top line down sponsorship, we can get over that hurdle because the individuals can see the behaving altruistically, developing capabilities that benefit the whole. 3, avoid the use of any terminology that isn't in the business language. So we never use the word data governance. Avoid any concept of compliance. I've had the opportunity to work with one of the top retail businesses on the planet. They ask you to go through a program, whether you're an employee, a contractor, a consultant, on the very first day to use the language of the business. Every one of you has its own business language. So adopt this program of data management, but use the language of your business to communicate that. That then should allow everyone in the business to feel non-threatened, aligned, understanding what you're trying to achieve, which comes to point 4, culture. The reason why often we're in a situation of poor quality data around the organization, that's meaning we're not getting the right information at the right time to make the right decisions to drive great customer experiences, is because inherently it's been seen as an IT problem. Data management isn't an IT problem. It's a problem that is generally around the operating model. It's people, it's processes, and it's technology. But with driving the message from the top, you can drive cultural change. I've seen numerous programs where small businesses have purchased software off the shelf as a service, neglected to think about the operating model, and when that technology is being deployed in a business, the quality deteriorates rapidly, and then there's a huge data management program. Then the business is pointing at IT and saying, it's you to fix it. What we need to embrace at the start, that cultural change means ownership is within the business. It needs to be clear to them that the management team want that change to happen, but you also got to sell it to your people and your teams. So from the start, have programs in place around education, have ambassadors who are promoting these good behaviors in the business, and encourage everybody to have the 5 a day, brush the teeth 3 times a day, do those 20 minutes of exercise, such that we can ingrain good habits. 21 days to ingrain good habits, but you need to work on them, and you need points in time, and always use a carrot, not a stick. And the very final one is I just want to confirm the same thing, really. Data is a business. Using data well is a business opportunity to drive great outcomes. It is not an IT issue. So if we can get the business to adopt good practices, we get to a good place.